What's that word? What's that word, family? Hey, man, check it out, check it out, check it out. Is to the streets, is to the streets. Welcome back to another episode of Fast and Furious Interviews. I am your host, Lo from the Go. And check this out, ladies and gentlemen. We got a very special guest in the building. So, Nathan, won't you tell the people who you are and where you from?
Greetings, audience. My name is Nathan Whatley. I'm the founder and owner and CEO of Algorithm Recordings based out of Los Angeles. I'm originally from Texas, though. Hook 'em horns, baby. Algorithm Recordings is a hybrid label that consists of artificially intelligent acts along with the traditional analog acts. We're kind of blending or gearing toward going over to the digital side to compete with acts or ideas that's going to be in the metaverse or centered around the metaverse concept.
The metaverse, that's a new thing that just came out by Facebook, right?
Yeah, actually, it came out a long time ago. Facebook is in a position to where they have a lot of capital to kind of take part in it right away. But the designers of the metaverse, I mean, you can find them on the Unreal Engine, and preferably one of them called Dulce 303. You can find her inside of the Unreal Engine and check out her metaverse.
So this metaverse, is this the same place where Snoop Dogg brought property and people are buying property around Snoop Dogg's new property?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, digital real estate, I mean, that's a great way to make money. You even have, digital real estate agents. It's like at us in the music industry, we can take full advantage of the metaverse by offering soundtracks to different aspects of each individual avatar or metaverse experience.
So this concept right here, what you're going through, this is groundbreaking right here, right?
I do believe so. I definitely believe so, because it's definitely, as you clearly see, it's not the traditional, right, where your company's livelihood is dependent on four majors. Instead you can create your own space. You can truly create your own niche in the industry by becoming a digital label. Even if you choose to have analog acts, you can still create a hybrid label from in the metaverse space.
Explain to me how you can introduce an artist to this metaverse.
Well, based on where your music is in the metaverse, or the majority, I would say, on an independent level scale, let's say if our genre is hip hop, and that hip hop can go in different regions in the metaverse where you believe that hip hop will be prevalent. You can divide your metaverse into continents. You can divide them into states or what have you. You just have to search the regions or find out who owns those metaverse spaces to definitely partner up with them and allow your music to be the soundtrack or at least a part of the score in these multiverse worlds.
So that's what you're doing for artists right now. You're getting them placed in the metaverse.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, their music in the metaverse is basically that's cementing a legacy. I mean, that's going to span hundreds of years. This is where we are right now. We're at the beginning of a whole different, a different climate shift, worldwide. The blockchain is basically the new Bible.
Wow. So explain to me how I can invest money into the metaverse and get a return.
I would say definitely don't invest in it by making your own metaverse. As a podcaster, communication is everything, and you'll make a killing based on the whole concept of communication on a global scale if it's inside of a metaverse. Imagine if you're the exclusive communication provider. That's AT&T all over again. You'll have a monopoly over the airwaves of said fourth metaverse. It's a multi-billion-dollar deal.
Wow. That's what you're trying to do right now? You're trying to be like a AT&T for the metaverse?
Well, actually, I want my company to represent independent music very well in the metaverse space, meaning that you're going to get the perfect score or the perfect soundtrack to whatever your metaverse vision is. We want to be the ultimate tailors. So if you get music, whether it's an instrumental or vocal track from Algorithm, it's a custom made too.
Earlier you were telling me something about what is it, the NFIs or whatever?
Oh, the NFT market, which is non-fungible tokens. That's another great mechanism and means for independent artists to find their own niche and foster their own audience while making money at the same token. As an independent artist without a record label, you can create your own NFTs, audio NFTs. You can package them with clips of video. You can package them with merch. There's so many options that artists have today to really self-fund themselves and self-develop outside of the scope of even a production company. It's basically how you artists are learning the retail side of the house. They're becoming their own executives, which is why you see these kids becoming millionaires at younger ages. They're taking advantage of the technology, which I applaud, man.
Where do you see your company in 10 years, bro?
I think we joked about it, hopefully getting sued by the other major record labels. But outside of 10 years, I definitely want to be considered one of the sources of credible music and credible content that we have representing this country. Because as a small business, I work on behalf of the United States, which is why my market it's outside of the U.S. The number one thing we give to the rest of the world, or export to the rest of the world, is popular culture. So as a recording, or as someone say, an entertainment company, we entertain the world through popular culture. So it wouldn't make any sense for me to take this product and give it back to Americans when there's 196 other countries that I'm supposed to reach out to on behalf of the U.S. to conduct trade or business.
Wow, man, this all sounds incredible to me, mind blowing. Seems like we're going to the future with this concept that you got. How long have you been doing this?
Well, I founded this company earlier this year because I was in a management situation with a major label that, I saw the direction that it was going. And you see, these are kids' dreams. Kids come from all over the world and the country to come to these major labels just to have their dreams toyed with. And now they become emotionally unstable and you're breaking them. You're breaking them emotionally, you're breaking them financially. And we're sending our babies, we're sending our babies to feed these machines. And at what cost? They're dying. It's almost twice a week now. At what point do we have to take control over our babies' art?
Right. The way you said that, it almost sounds like giving your child an R. Kelly for music lessons. You know what I'm saying?
That's what is basically happened, because what happens to our babies? They go there, they become different people. They become these caricatures that these executives are just sitting there swooning over. If anything, they're probably calling the label and say, "Hey, man, you got somebody over there that can start some shit with my guy."
Right. So, how do you go about finding your artists?
Well, usually it's all through a vibration. I mean, it's like you can pretty much tell. You feel it when they feel the music. The minute that you get into the studio and hit the play button, and as soon as they hear the music, you hear them mumbling, and the vibrations, the frequencies, they're all combining in the room. Then. Now, the next step is, do you have the work ethic that it takes to get these things done? Are you interested in learning the business of sound recording? I bring artists through complete development system. Usually my development can last anywhere from, I would say, 60 days down to 45. Depends on, the experience. If they're a first termer, then by all means, it's going to take 60 days for them to learn the system in which algorithm recordings not only produces music, but releases music. You got to learn how to go through the cycle.
Earlier, you were telling me your biggest influences. Can you tell it to the listening audience?
Okay, my biggest influence by far is George Clinton. Just conceptually, I think the guys he's still so far ahead of his time, not just sound wise. I mean, when you bought a Parliament record or a Funkadelic record, you got not only some great sounding music, but it was visually the album cover was immaculate. It was a comic. You open it up and it told the whole story. So for $5.99, look at the quality of concept that he gave you. I mean, it was just incredible. There's some other guys, the Beatles by far are another one of my favorites because of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. They did something that I thought was genius. They combined sight and sound as well as George Clinton, but they just did it on a motion picture scale.
Wow.
So now you have the hip hop generation that was all about vibrations in the beginning. I mean, hence the dancing. Breakdancing is all vibrations. I mean, that's you can't, what tells your body to do that other than frequency.
Speaking of breakdancing, you told me that you started off as a DJ. Can you get into that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, to be part of the hip hop culture, which, ran through New York, they said that these are the 4 requirements. You had to learn how to be a DJ. You had to, you had to do your B-boy thing. You had to do your graffiti thing. And, if you chose to rap, you chose to rap. I chose the DJ first because that's who really moved the crowds. When I saw DJs doing their thing, you're being able to, wield that energy over a whole group of people. And that was exciting to me. And from there was a progression to the rap game. I did some breaking, everybody did some breaking. I was nice too. And I did a little bit of graffiti. So, I didn't master all four elements, but I participated in all four. From there, every DJ's natural progression is usually inside of the world of production. So from there, we just went into the production aspect, started making tracks, and haven't really looked back. I'm always going to be addicted to going to studios and making music.
How can the people reach you?
Oh, through my social media networks. First, I have to conduct the business of being a label. YouTube and Spotify are important to not only artists, but for record labels, especially independent ones. So your support on these two channels are paramount to the success or failure of any artist. So I push my supporters to YouTube. I push them to the Algorithm YouTube channel. I push them to the Algorithm Twitter page. I push them all to the Algorithm Spotify pages or the Facebook pages. Type in Algorithm Recordings and you'll find us on all social networking platforms. It'd be too easy to give you guys links. I want you guys to research this so you get the information firsthand to know what we're about before you decide to give us that level of support, because we want to earn your trust. Don't just go to a link and click because I'm asking you to do it. Find out about it. See if you agree with what it is that we're doing. That way your support is actually genuine, because our support of you guys is genuine.
I got to go back to when you said that you worked for a major label. Were you working with major artists?
So I was working with a band in development, usually on majors. When you go from one genre to another genre, they stick you in development that, kind of cross-train you. So during the course of that cross-training, not only did COVID hit, you discover how majors really treat indie artists. They really treat the guys bad. A lot of these acts go into major labels and don't have any financial support. They won't put them on per diem, even through development. How do you think that these kids travel from different states, sometimes different countries, to come here and live out their dreams, and they have to do it for below scale wages, especially if they're not union members? We keep feeding our babies to these machines. And when I saw that, especially when you go over to the R&B department, and R&B department does not look like R&B acts are in the R&B department. You're sending your child with a tube of Vaseline. The parents are equipping them with the Vaseline, or the KY, the one that gets warm. So,
right. Well, Cube said it first, so Ice Cube said it first.
Yeah.
We got to learn. You have any advice for any upcoming artists that's thinking about doing something in the metaverse?
Oh, absolutely. Research is everything. And, without research, you won't know the information in which it takes for you to get your music into certain metaverses. You definitely want to make sure that your music fits the environment or the area. And that's what research will allow you to do. See who's doing it, what companies are doing it, not what celebrities are hiring companies to make metaverses. You want to go company direct, and that's what being an independent artist and label allows me to do. I can pick up a phone and call another CEO. As an independent artist, you guys got to start picking up phones and putting the cell phones down, and start reaching out to other companies that you want to work with. And I'm giving this information away for free because the label's going to charge you for it.
Yeah, it's all about money in the end, right? So how will you and your company make money off of this situation?
Companies are going to make their money off of a majority of ways. I can make my money through the sale of company NFTs or comics or music, merchandise, concert sales, even virtual concert sales. There's the metaverse. There's a lot of ways that companies make our money, which, to me, it's not about the company making money. It's about the artist having the tools that they need to make their art. I can have all the money in the world and don't know how to put out a piece of art.
Let me ask you this. Are you worried that a major company will try to crush your smaller company?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's pretty flattering, that, I would be on the radar to that capacity. But, for them, the traditional mold is most indies they seek that relationship. I don't need it.
Nathan, that's all I have for you on Fast and Furious interviews. So look, I want you to tell the people once again where they can find you and how they can get up with you.
Okay. YouTube channel, ladies and gentlemen. Please go to Algorithm Recordings on YouTube. Like, add, subscribe to the channel. Comments are suggested. That's what keeps us in the algorithm. Same with Twitter. Algorithm Recordings at Twitter. You can find me, Nathan Whatley, on Facebook. I go by my first and last name on all my platforms. Now, I do want you to check this guy's voice out. It is spelled Voiyce. Jamar Franklin. He's on Facebook. He's also on Instagram. If you guys need songs, he's pretty much the Neo of this generation before Neo was the big songwriter. So get him while he cheap.
Right, man. And I just want to say, I really appreciate you for joining the show. And I wish you well on your new endeavors with the metaverse. Trust me, I'm going to be keeping an eye out and watching this guy, ladies and gentlemen, because I want to know how to invest in some virtual property.
You have my word that anything, any news, any new news, information, or any happenings with Algorithm Recordings, you get it first.
And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say peace.